Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most talked about stories in the 90-Day Fiancé universe, Jasmine Pineda and her divorce. For months, fans have speculated about what really happened, what led to this major life change, and how Jasmine herself has been handling everything. In this video, we'll take you through the background, the relationship, the conflicts, and the emotional aftermath of Jasmine's divorce, giving you a full picture of what went down and what might come next for her. Jasmine Pineda first came to our screens as part of the 90-Day Fiancé, before the 90 Days franchise. She's from Panama, passionate, fiery, outspoken, and unforgettable. From the very beginning, her personality captured the attention of fans around the world. Viewers were instantly drawn to her charisma, but also shocked at times by her intensity. That combination made her one of the standout personalities in the series. But beyond the TV persona, Jasmine is a real woman, and her journey through love, marriage, and now divorce has been both complicated and emotional. When Jasmine first introduced her relationship to audiences, it was with an American partner who had traveled thousands of miles to be with her. Their romance was filled with chemistry, but also constant arguments, misunderstandings, and jealous moments. Some fans felt the two of them were never truly compatible, while others believed their passion meant they could overcome any obstacle. The cameras captured fights about ex-girlfriends, financial struggles, and lifestyle differences. Yet despite the chaos, they decided to commit, tying the knot in hopes that love would carry them through. However, marriage often reveals truths that dating hides. For Jasmine, life as a wife brought new challenges. She had to balance cultural differences, personal insecurities, and the expectations of living in a new environment. Her struggles were not just with her husband, but also within herself. She has always been candid about her vulnerability, her fears of not being good enough, her sensitivity to rejection, and her struggle to trust fully. These deeper issues, while relatable, became pressure points in the marriage. Over time, the cracks became too visible to ignore. Financial stress weighed heavily on the relationship, especially when promises about stability and support didn't fully match reality. Trust issues escalated, with suspicions and jealousy taking center stage in many of their conflicts. The fights became louder, the reconciliations shorter, and the emotional exhaustion began to take its toll. For anyone who has followed Jasmine closely, it was clear she was struggling to maintain a sense of peace in her marriage. The decision to divorce was not sudden. According to those close to Jasmine, it was the result of many conversations, arguments, and attempts at reconciliation. She reportedly tried counseling, open discussions, and even compromises that many fans didn't expect from her fiery personality. But sometimes love isn't enough to sustain a marriage when the foundation isn't solid. For Jasmine, the choice to end things was not about giving up. It was about survival and self-respect. When the news of Jasmine's divorce first surfaced, the fan community exploded with reactions. Some expressed sadness, believing she and her partner had true potential if only they could work past their issues. Others felt relief, pointing out that the marriage seemed toxic and draining for both sides. Social media became a platform where supporters flooded her with messages of encouragement, reminding her that divorce isn't a failure, but a chance at a fresh start. For Jasmine herself, the aftermath has been emotional but also empowering. She has shared glimpses of her journey, showing fans that she's still passionate, still fiery, but also determined to grow. Divorce often brings feelings of shame or defeat, especially in cultures where marriage is seen as the ultimate success. But Jasmine has been turning that narrative on its head, openly acknowledging her pain, but also embracing her resilience. Her honesty has made her even more relatable to viewers who have gone through similar experiences. Now, one of the biggest questions fans are asking is, what's next for Jasmine? Will she return to the dating scene, or will she focus on herself for the time being? From what we've seen, Jasmine is taking things step by step. She's prioritizing her mental health, her career, and her personal happiness. Instead of rushing into another relationship, she appears to be reflecting on her past choices and figuring out what she truly wants moving forward. This period of self-discovery might just be the most important chapter of her story yet. Of course, speculation is inevitable, Some fans wonder if she'll return to reality TV, possibly in another season, or a spin-off where her new single life could be explored. Others hope she'll write a book or create content that shares her unique perspective on love, heartbreak, and healing. Whatever path she chooses, one thing is certain. Jasmine Pineda is not someone who will fade quietly into the background. Her personality, her energy, and her story ensure that she will continue to be part of the conversation. What makes Jasmine's divorce especially impactful is that it humanizes her beyond the reality show drama. It reminds us that behind the cameras, editing, and entertainment, there are real emotions, real struggles, and real consequences. Divorce is never easy, and for someone living it in the public eye, the pressure is doubled. Yet Jasmine's willingness to face it head-on, to share parts of it, and to keep moving forward is something many can admire. In reflecting on her journey, we see themes that resonate far beyond the world of 90 Day Fiancé. Themes like the importance of self-worth, the danger of ignoring red flags, and the courage it takes to walk away when something no longer serves you. Jasmine's story, in many ways, is universal. It's about learning when to fight for love and when to let go. It's about rediscovering yourself when you've been defined by someone else. And it's about believing that endings, as painful as they are, can also be beginnings. So, as we wrap up, what can we take away from Jasmine Pineda's divorce? First, that love is beautiful, but it cannot erase fundamental differences. Second, that strength sometimes looks like vulnerability, admitting that something isn't working and making the tough choice to walk away. And finally, that no matter how public or private your journey is, healing is always possible. Jasmine's story continues, and so does the conversation. We'll be following her journey closely, and we'll bring you updates as they come. But for now, we hope this video gave you a deeper look into what really happened, why it matters, and why Jasmine's resilience is worth celebrating. If you've ever gone through heartbreak or a breakup, you know how hard it can be. Jasmine's courage reminds us all that even after the storm, there is always a chance for sunshine.as. The story of Jasmine's divorce spreads. Fans have not only been watching closely, but also relating deeply. Many of her supporters have shared their own experiences online, opening up about how they too had to walk away from marriages or relationships that no longer made them feel valued. This community response has become part of Jasmine's healing journey. In a way, it's been a reminder that even when someone's personal life is broadcast on television, they are not alone. Viewers don't just consume the drama. They connect, they empathize, and they share. Jasmine's honesty about her struggles has created a safe space for others to be honest about theirs too. Another layer to this story is how Jasmine has been redefining her identity post-divorce. For a long time, she was seen primarily as someone's partner, someone's fiancé, or someone's wife. Now, she's reclaiming her narrative as an individual. She's been highlighting her independence, her goals, and her values outside of a romantic relationship. This shift is powerful, especially for women who have often felt defined by their relationship status. Jasmine is showing that even after heartbreak, you can rebuild a stronger, more authentic version of yourself. It's also worth remembering that divorce, while final in legal terms, is a process emotionally. Jasmine will likely continue to feel waves of sadness, relief, regret, and hope as time goes on. Healing isn't linear, and fans may see glimpses of her ups and downs on social media. But those moments are not setbacks, they're part of the human experience. What makes Jasmine stand out is her willingness to share those ups and downs instead of pretending everything is perfect. That kind of transparency makes her journey feel real and relatable. Looking at the bigger picture, Jasmine's story is a reflection of what many reality TV stars go through after the cameras stop rolling. Relationships formed in the public eye face unique challenges. Every argument, every mistake, every emotional breakdown is dissected by viewers. That kind of scrutiny can amplify issues that might have otherwise been resolved privately. In Jasmine's case, the intensity of the spotlight may have made her marriage even harder to sustain. But at the same time, it's given her a platform to inspire others through her resilience. There's also the question of how this divorce will affect Jasmine's career in entertainment. Reality TV thrives on strong personalities, and Jasmine has always delivered that in abundance. Networks know she draws attention, whether people love her or criticize her. That means we may not have seen the last of her on television. A storyline about rebuilding her life after divorce could resonate with fans and add a fresh chapter to her narrative. Whether she chooses to take that route or not, the option is certainly open to her. From a personal perspective, Jasmine has hinted that she wants to focus more on her passions. Before the spotlight, she worked as a teacher and had dreams beyond television fame. Post-divorce, this may be her opportunity to revisit those dreams or even explore new ones. The freedom that comes with ending a marriage can feel daunting at first, but it also creates space for new beginnings. Jasmine seems ready to step into that space with courage. Fans are also curious about her outlook on love after divorce. While it's too soon to say whether she'll enter a new relationship, Jasmine has made it clear that she still believes in love. But this time, she wants it on her terms. She's learning from past mistakes, recognizing her worth, and setting higher standards for anyone who wants to be part of her life. That growth mindset is one of the most inspiring parts of her story. It shows she's not defined by one failed relationship, but rather by the lessons she carries forward. And what about her ex? While much of the focus has been on Jasmine, the divorce naturally raises questions about her former partner as well. Reports suggest that both of them are moving on separately, and while there may still be tension, there's also a sense of closure. For Jasmine, the divorce isn't about assigning blame. It's about accepting that sometimes two people simply aren't meant to build a life together. That perspective takes maturity, and it's another sign of how far she's come. As we take a step back and look at Jasmine's journey, it's impossible not to admire her resilience. Divorce can break people down, but Jasmine is using it as a chance to build herself up. She's proving that endings don't define us. How we rise afterward does. Fans who once saw her as just another fiery reality TV star are now seeing her as a symbol of strength and transformation. So, what's the ultimate takeaway? Jasmine Pineda's divorce is not just gossip fodder or another storyline in the 90-Day Fiancé world. It's a human story of struggle, courage, and rebirth. It's about knowing when to fight and when to let go. It's about embracing the unknown with bravery. And it's about understanding that sometimes the hardest choices lead to the most important growth. For Jasmine, the future is wide open. Whether she chooses to return to TV, write her own book, or pursue a completely new path, she has shown the world that she's not afraid of change. Her divorce is not the end of her story. It's just the beginning of a new one. And as fans, we'll be watching, supporting, and learning from her as she writes this next chapter. When you think about Jasmine Pineda's story, one of the most important aspects is how she's been able to turn pain into purpose. It's easy for people on the outside to judge, to say what she should or shouldn't have done. But the reality is that love is complicated. No relationship is simple, and when you add in cameras, contracts, and the pressure of public opinion, the challenges multiply. Jasmine has shown that even in the toughest moments, she can find the strength to speak her truth, even when that truth is messy. This honesty is part of why she has remained so unforgettable. Fans don't just see her as a TV character, they see her as a woman living through real heartbreak. And that rawness makes her story resonate far beyond entertainment. Divorce is something that millions of people experience, but not everyone has the courage to share it publicly. Jasmine has become a voice for those who may feel isolated in their struggles, reminding them that vulnerability is not weakness. Another fascinating part of Jasmine's journey is how her cultural background influences her perspective. Coming from Panama, Jasmine has often spoken about how family, tradition, and community play vital roles in her life. In many cultures, divorce carries a heavy stigma, often leaving women judged harshly for choosing independence over staying in a marriage. Jasmine's decision to walk away, despite the cultural weight of expectation, is not just personal, it's deeply symbolic. It challenges outdated notions of what women should endure in the name of marriage and sets a new example of empowerment. Of course, it would be unrealistic to say the road ahead will be easy. Divorce is often compared to grief because you're not just losing a partner, you're losing a shared future, routines, dreams, and even pieces of yourself you gave away. Jasmine will undoubtedly face moments of loneliness, reflection, and doubt. But those moments are also opportunities for healing. They're the spaces where growth happens, where you rediscover who you are outside of the labels others gave you. Where does Jasmine go from here? While no one can predict the future, there are clear signs that she's stepping into this next chapter with confidence. She's been more active with her fans, more vocal about self-love, and more focused on building stability for herself. She's even hinted at new opportunities on the horizon. Opportunities that might allow her to tell her story in her own words, without the filters of reality TV editing. For the fans who have followed her journey since day one, this evolution is inspiring. They've seen her at her most passionate, her most vulnerable, and now, perhaps, her most authentic. It's a reminder that life is never about one chapter. It's about the entire book. And Jasmine's book is still being written. If you've ever been through heartbreak, you know how hard it can be to see beyond the pain. But Jasmine's story is living proof that there is life after loss, strength after sorrow, and love after heartbreak. It may not come right away, but it will come. And when it does, it will be stronger because of what you've endured. So as we watch Jasmine Pineda step into this new chapter, let's remember that her journey is not just about reality TV drama. It's about resilience, empowerment, and the courage to start over. Divorce isn't the end of her story. In fact, it may just be the turning point that allows her to become the truest version of herself yet. And that's something worth celebrating. Thank you so much for watching this video. If Jasmine's story touched you, or if you've gone through something similar, share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives and lessons of the people who shape reality TV culture. That there's another angle to Jasmine's journey that often gets overlooked, the idea of self-discovery. Divorce isn't just about leaving a partner. It's about rediscovering yourself after years of compromise, after years of trying to meet someone else's expectations. Jasmine has been very vocal about her insecurities, whether it's her appearance, her past relationships, or her fears about being abandoned. In many ways, her marriage brought those insecurities to the surface. But now, on the other side of divorce, she's learning to turn those vulnerabilities into strengths. And that's something incredibly powerful. Too often, we see people try to hide their scars. Jasmine, instead, is showing hers and saying, "This is me. I've been hurt, I've been broken, but I'm still here." That's a message people around the world need to hear. It normalizes imperfection, it validates real struggles, and it shows that survival doesn't mean you have to be flawless. You just have to keep moving forward. Fans have also pointed out something very interesting. Jasmine seems lighter now. Even in her posts, there's an energy that feels freer, more genuine. Without the constant stress of a crumbling marriage, she appears to be rediscovering joy in the little things. Time with friends, exploring her passions, and simply being herself. That transformation is inspiring not because it's dramatic, but because it's real. It's what so many people wish for after a painful ending. The ability to smile again without forcing it. But with all the positivity, let's also be real. Jasmine will probably still face criticism. Public figures always do. There will always be people who question her choices, who blame her for the divorce, or who say she should have fought harder to make the marriage work. But that's the beauty of Jasmine's story. She's learning not to let those voices control her anymore. She's listening to her own voice, and that's the one that truly matters. As for the future, fans are already speculating whether Jasmine will return to TV in some capacity. Maybe she'll continue her journey on another season, or perhaps she'll step into a completely different space. Maybe motivational speaking, maybe writing, maybe something creative we haven't even thought of yet. No matter what, one thing is certain. Jasmine has the charisma, the relatability, and the resilience to keep inspiring people. Whether she's in front of the camera or behind the scenes, her story isn't over, it's evolving. And if you think about it, that's what makes her so compelling. Reality TV may have introduced us to Jasmine Pineda, but it's her honesty, her courage, and now her journey through divorce that make us stay invested. Because at the end of the day, we're not just watching a show, we're witnessing a real person grow, stumble, rise, and rebuild. So, what can we learn from Jasmine's experience? Maybe it's that walking away from something that no longer brings you peace is not weakness, it's wisdom. Maybe it's that you don't need to stay in a situation just because people expect you to. And maybe it's that even when love doesn't last forever, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you lived, you learned, and now you have the chance to begin again. And isn't that what life is really about? Starting over and over again until we get closer to the happiness we deserve. Jasmine's divorce is just one chapter in a much larger story, and we can't wait to see where that story goes next. Thank you all for watching and sharing this time with us. If Jasmine's journey resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Have you ever had to rebuild after a painful ending? What helped you find your strength again? Sharing your story might just inspire someone else watching this video today. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into the stories that matter most in the world of reality TV and beyond. Jasmine's story also shows us how love on reality TV isn't always the same as love in everyday life. When millions of people are watching, every word and every mistake gets magnified. That pressure can make even small arguments feel impossible to recover from. For Jasmine, being under that microscope meant her most vulnerable moments were shared with the world. But instead of letting that break her down, she's turning it into a chance to connect with others who understand how painful love can be. She's also learning the art of self-love in a way that feels brand new. For so long, she was focused on her relationship, on proving her worth, and on fighting for love. Now, she's beginning to focus on herself. That means rediscovering her passions, caring for her mental health, and finding joy outside of romance. It may sound simple, but for someone who put so much of herself into her marriage, this is a huge shift. It's not about needing someone else to complete her, it's about realizing she was whole all along.